The residence of former Edo State Governor and ADC chieftain John Oyegun was attacked by hoodlums yesterday. The attack at Oyegun's residence occurred when leaders, including Peter Obi, were holding a meeting. Signs of the attack were visible with broken bottles, gunshot holes on the gate, and damaged vehicles. The politicians had attended the party's rally organized to formally receive former Edo State governorship candidate Olumide Akpata from the Labour Party into the ADC.
We had a guest, of course, the former governor of Anambra and one of the prominent leaders of the ADC. And from all indications, an aspirant for the presidency. So, whether that was what attracted the attack on my premises and my property, because the government here had threatened that if you came to Edo State without permission, his security cannot be guaranteed. He was paying a courtesy visit to me, and bullets started raining all over the place. In my state, where I was governor, Edo State, when did we degenerate to that?
Well, Yunusa Tanko joins us on the show to give a first-hand assessment on what occurred in Edo State. Good morning, Mr. Tanko. You're most welcome to the morning show.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Nigerians.
Okay, Yunusa Tanko, just tell us what happened in Benin City yesterday. There have been many versions about internal democracy crisis within the ADC, and about certain aggrieved persons not being invited, and then about thuggery in Edo State. Let's listen to you first, beyond your press statement, to be able to then follow up. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Ruben. Yesterday, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, in his normal characteristic manner, visited Edo State. In visiting Edo State, he has two agendas. First was to visit St. Philomena Science and Nursing College, right here at number 23 Darwin Street. The second event was to solidarize with the former governorship candidate of the Labour Party, distinguished Olumide Akpata, into the African Democratic Congress Party. And that was to take place in Upeleka Street, right there in Benin. He arrived very early in the morning, and then we went straight to St. Philomena Science and Nursing College. At that place, we had a wonderful reception. The students were so excited, elated, that His Excellency revisited them again, based on the promise that he made, because he made promises and he kept them, that he's going to revisit them to continue in his philanthropic support to the school, which he ended up donating money to the school. The sum of 15 million naira was donated. And so we went back to the hotel and, to just wait for a moment to go straight to the school, to the venue of the event. Naturally, it is expected that His Excellency should visit the leaders of the political party that he belongs to. So we went straight to Chief Oyegun's house. In Oyegun's house, he welcomed us warmly, and then we assessed if there were any issues whatsoever, and those issues that assumed internally was quickly resolved, and everybody was with us. We went straight to the venue of the meeting. So as far as we are concerned, those who are claiming there were internal issues whatsoever, nothing like that happened. Seriously, nothing. Because His Excellency, the former governor of Edo State, Chief Oyegun, and the former governor of Edo State, Edo State, Professor Osumbo, all of them went with us to the venue. And I must say here, at that venue, when we arrived, we were warmly received by enthusiastic members of the political party, hundreds of them. And we went up to this two or three story building. And we went up to this two or three story building at Upeleka Street. Right there, while we started the program, information reached us that there are hoodlums heading towards us to come and disrupt the program. So, the MC and leaders of the party hurriedly managed the situation, and then we concluded our program successfully and left. The moment we left, 5 minutes after, while we were at Chief Oyegun's house, information reached us that already the Secretariat is under attack, under siege. Many people were allegedly being shot. 1 or 2 persons were being shot. We're yet to ascertain that. Some was said to have been shot on the neck, and some were allegedly being shot on the head and all. But yet, we are yet to confirm this particular report. But then you could see the footage where the office was vandalized. At that point, we reassessed the situation. Our leaders looked at what can be done to quickly call the security agencies to rush to that particular secretariat in order to protect lives and properties. I must say here, it was expected that probably the state should have been number one security to protect the lives and properties at that venue. That did not happen. So it comes to my imagination. Had it been that they met us in that particular venue, 3-story building, where leaders, people with impeccable characters, the former governors, 3 of them were there. Olumide Akpata was there. A lot of people were there. If they came shooting at that particular venue, the kind of pandemonium that would have happened at that particular venue, more lives would have been lost. So it's very clear to us. After we have concluded our discussion, I must conclude, please. After we have concluded our discussion, we were about leaving the home of Chief Oyegun, then the shooting started. First, it was a warning shot, pa. The next one, pa, pa. The next one, pa, 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 pa. It was like we are in a war. And then His Excellency courageously, with his other colleagues, came out to look at what is going on. The security people said, no, we must go back inside. So we went back in. Then the security agencies challenged this particular assailant, and then we were able to come out again courageously. And for me, this was just an example of leadership from His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi and his colleagues. They came out to see what is going on. At that point, that was when we realized that the gate of the Excellency Chief Oyegun was sprayed with a lot of bullets, and cars, about 6 to 7 cars, were being damaged, and nobody made any attempt. And this is in the GRA in Edo State in Benin, Highbrow area, and nobody came to the defense and protection of the people except for the security agency. This is the exact situation that happened in Benin yesterday. I was a victim of that situation.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that you had to experience that in Edo State. But let me ask you, based on some of the things that you said that you would have expected that you'd have, at least the contingent would have had some form of protection from the state. We know that the governor himself has made, given advisory around politically exposed people, notifying authorities when they are coming in their numbers. Was this done? Was the security operatives, okay, was it done in terms of notifying them that you were coming? That's one. Number two is that with the people, the hoodlums who were shooting, was there any indication based on their language or what they said or how they dressed that linked them to the government? Because in Mr. Peter Obi's statement, he said, and I take a phrase from it, we cannot have terrorism and have officials in government terrorizing the citizens. Of course, I'm sure you're aware that the governor of the state has come out to with a rebuttal to that. But how were you able to quickly link the government? Because that's very sensitive to these hoodlums who came to attack the party.
For us, coming from the governor's statement, which somebody reposted yesterday, it was a clear attempt of assassination. It may be direct or indirect. That is the way I feel. Because you're talking about Olumide Akpata, former chairman of MBA, who knows the rules and regulations of our country, cannot and will not subject himself to unconstitutionality, and he is a law-abiding person. So therefore, everything that needs to be done must have been done by the leadership of the party at that particular venue. Inviting His Excellency to this particular very important program of his must have been done with due diligence. But I must say, the government failed in its responsibility as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Chapter 2, that yes, you must protect lives and properties, even if, let's assume, even if that you said that probably you are not being notified. It is the duty of the government to protect the lives and property in that particular venue. It's known, it's a public knowledge that such an event is going to take place. So they failed in their duty, or deliberately so, because remember the Sani Abacha saying that if you see a crime being committed and the government did not respond within 24 hours, then the government has in it. Okay. So therefore, well, it's not up to 24 hours now, but then we're still counting.
But the first
this must be investigated because they are testing waters.
Yes, Mr. Tanko, and that's where I'm heading. Yes. Investigation hasn't occurred, yet a statement has been released. And that's why I asked that based on first-hand witness, was there any link, their language, the vehicle, was there any link at that point to the government? Or it's just a preliminary statement, pointing fingers at the government at this point? Because it's important for us to speak based on facts and not sentiments.
Well, it's good that we speak on facts. And coming from the statement that was made by the governor, I was inside the house And when we came out, they've already run off. They've already concluded what they want to do at that point, and they ran off. So we couldn't have access, probably hearing them, what they may have said or so. But it's a daring attack. What kind of level of courage and determination would anybody has to come to a GRA, the resident of a former governor, with 2 other governors, and then you shoot at them? What else do you expect? Can they be just hoodlums on the streets? Obviously not.
Okay.
Something must have happened.
Okay.
So we are clear on this. And you know what? We are just coming from an election on the 21st of February, and our agent was killed right here in Abuja. So it is a kind of a choreographed attempt on the lives of the opposition. And clearly, it is Peter Obi that is the subject of matter here.
Okay. Mr. Tanko, thank you so much. In all of your meetings, I would like to ask, was Ronald Owi in all of your meetings? Ronald Owi,
he was
Senator.
right there at the meeting.
And secondly,
yes,
I would like to
right
ask.
There. I'm talking about an 80-year-old person.
I would like to ask, was Ronald Owi there? Secondly, was there a skirmish on Monday in the residence of Chief Oyegu?
I'm not aware of any skirmish. Normal internal issues, maybe discussion and all, may have happened. But as far as I'm concerned, I saw him at the venue. And we're talking about an 80-year-old person. He was right there at the venue. I shook him. We shook hands together. So if there's going to be kind of orchestrated attack, will he meant an attack on himself when he knows that he cannot jump from 2 or 3-story building? That will have killing yourself by yourself. So he was there.
Okay. So you said he was there and you said there was no, because I asked you those questions deliberately because that's what the APC is now claiming. They claim that there was a scuffle between the Ronald Owi faction and the Oyegu faction, and they couldn't settle it among themselves, hence the gunshots and all of that. Another question I would like to ask is, when you people got the alerts that these hoodlums were going to attack, did you call the police?
Of course, we reported it to our people that were there so that they can take it up normally.
Did you guys inform the police? Did you guys inform the police? Because there is no way
formally
Olumide Akpata will not say probably he has the number of the CP of the states. Did you guys call the police and tell them that there was some intelligence you got as regards hoodlums coming to attack your rally and all of that? Did you tell the police?
At that point in time, we were informed and our people took it up immediately. And that was why we left the place instantly and concluding our program.
So did they tell the police? Did they inform the police?
The security operatives that were with us were adequately informed immediately.
Okay. So you don't know
immediately. That was why we were able to move out instantly.
You don't know if they contacted the police for reinforcements. Thirdly, the next point I
wouldn't know because...
Yes. I mean, we just want to clarify most of those things. So the next point I want to make is this. So please confirm for me, the attack happened in 2 places. It happened in the office and in the home of Chief Oyegu. Do you have pictures of those that you claim were shot in the neck and were shot in the head?
Yes, that was why I said these ones were going to be what we will investigate. But there was a video already being shown, making rounds, where a lady showed where she was shot in, between her ear and her head. It's everywhere. And those ones will also ascertain after reviewing what really happened so that we can get clarity and facts to some of the matters.
Okay. Dr. Yunusa Tanko, there are 2 issues on the table. The state government, in the statement that they issued, said this is an outflow of internal crisis within the ADC in Edo State. And the name of Senator Roland Owi was mentioned, having not been invited to a critical meeting on Monday that took place ahead of the declaration of Olumide Akpata, former Labour Party gubernatorial candidate. Now, the other leg to it is the allegation by your good self that the state government has a hand in it. Now, people are likely to believe you. After all, it was Senator Monday Okwebolo who said sometime last year that if you are not wearing the Tinubu cap, addressing commissioners specifically, then don't come to Edo State. Now the state government has said we are not involved. It is their own issue. Now, has your party made any effort to reach out to the state government to say, well, we came here, this happened to us. What do you have to say? 2, there are ordinary people in Edo State saying that each time Peter Obi comes to Edo State, there is a problem. Have you also tried to look at that? And then what kind of decision is your party likely to take beyond this incident? Irrespective of the fact that, regardless of the fact, without prejudice, that we do not expect violence in this 2027 election, whether the problem is internal or external. We do not expect that any politician will have his movement restricted. Whether it's Mr. Peter Obi or it is Chief Odige Oyegun, they have the rights under the Constitution to make a choice. Those are basic points at a larger level. Violence, thuggery is not allowed. Have you then identified the persons behind this and taken steps to see that they are called to order? Because that's within the rights of all the aggrieved parties involved.
Thank you, Doctor. This is why it is very imperative and good that we have a clean, fair, and credible elections where credible leaders who have the qualities of leadership should be in positions of power. Unfortunately, we don't have such. And that is why the governors need to have been guided in his utterances and how he speaks to the people that he's supposed and swore to protect. Unfortunately, he did not have those particular character, with all due respect, sir. Because if a governor who's supposed to be the #1 citizen of the state cannot guide his utterances and speak correctly to the people for them to understand, then he must be the #1 accuser, or probably of a kind of heinous crime against the states and against the people. I say this with all due respect, because while Mr. Peter Obi was performing his constitutional right of going to states, places as a political leader, which does not give any coloration in any way, can be stopped. You remember that we had similar situation in Benue State, and when His Excellency was trying to go to Benue State. And so it is not within the less justifiable reason for Mr. Peter Obi not to visit Edo State. And I must say this, anytime Mr. Peter Obi visits Edo State, the level of welcoming, I just stated this in the beginning. You saw what happened in this St. Philomena College. You saw the reception that Mr. Peter Obi got at the Secretariat of the ADC. It's not true. It is because of the love and the fear of the governor probably losing his seat or seeing that people are loving another person as against his interest, and then he resulted into a rough fight. That's how it happened. Because really, when a Peter Obi is arriving in such a state, it is expected that security should be provided by him, whether he asked or he did not ask. It is expected because it is a profile individual that you wouldn't want anything to happen to him, not because of him alone, but because of your responsibility as a governor. That was not done. And you look at him as an opponent rather than a colleague in the political space for good governance in Nigeria. We indulge this kind of situation and we feel it's normal. It is not normal. And of course, the party will take its decisive position to deal with these particular issues as it happened. They have the right to do an investigation and make their statement accordingly. But what I want to push here is that it is expected that the governor do diligence and knows his right as a governor, not as an opponent. There are two different things here. Some of them look at themselves as opponent to an opposition rather than to perform their duties as governors. Governor means you are governing the states, for crying out loud. And in governing the state, you protect the interests of every citizen.
Absolutely. You have hit the nail on the head indeed. As governor of the state, we expect that the protection of lives and properties as the chief security officer of the state is his priority, and he has a duty to every single resident or visitor to Edo State to provide that for them. Thank you so much for your time with us this morning, Dr. Yunusa.